Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Yeah, welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour. So today is episode 805. It's Friday. We've been doing the show for a while. On each day of the week, we do a different sort of theme. Today is industry or tech, and we have a bunch of people from gun channels who are over at the NRA show, so we'll be talking to them, at least those that are still awake. And then, of course, this is a roundtable discussion, so people are jumping in from gun channels. Spell things right here. And we're watching the conversation that's going on with the text chats out there. So we encourage everybody who watches our shows to be part of this conversation. We're not doing this to entertain you. We're doing this to create conversations, pipelines, so that we can keep valuable information moving. And speaking of valuable information, like I say, we have people at the NRA annual meeting, 143rd or 144th. They said anywhere? Well, it's either the 143rd or 134th.
Oh, they have, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I remember seeing 143 or whatever it is, but I'm dyslexic and I don't remember if I was looking at last year's info or this year's info. But either way, it's been going on for almost 150 years. It's going on in Indianapolis this weekend. It started today. It'll go tomorrow and then most of the day Sunday. Tomorrow, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is the annual meeting. So we encourage anybody who's interested to attend, who's a voting member of the NRA, to attend to the meeting at Saturday at 10 a.m. in Indianapolis and to hold their feet to the fire. I saw an article today passing around on Instagram about LaPierre's refusal to resign from the board, that the board had asked him to. So it's time for the membership to stand up and ask him to. If truly 80,000 people are there, what kind of message would that be to the anti-gunners when 80,000 board members or 80,000 members of the NRA stand still for a while until LaPierre leaves, so that the organization, which is since the 1780s, stands strong as a pillar in the pro-gun movement. Either way, here or there, a bunch of people are there that are experiencing the show. We were just about to talk about some of your experiences there in Indianapolis, but let me introduce everybody. We got Gary jumping in from Kansas. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for the invite.
You bet. And I saw you had foul territory tonight and provided a room for the people at the show. I'm guessing you had a better turnout since yours was earlier.
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. And then we've got Noxious jumping in from normally out east, but now only Midwest in Indianapolis. It's in the show. Thanks for joining.
Hey, G, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable being back this close to Chicago, but I'm doing it for a good cause.
I hear if you stand near the gun pipeline in Indiana there, it might be a little easier to deal with because then you know guns keeping you cool.
Yeah, well, I saw Roll Call jumped in, so I know that he's part of the gun pipeline.
Speaking of the Indiana gun trade, Roll Call is also joining us, jumping in. Now you're just going home, or are you staying in Indianapolis also?
I'm in Indianapolis right now.
Okay.
I'm in the hotel.
Okay, so you stayed in Indianapolis. You're far enough away that it was worth it for you to travel to Indianapolis and stay there.
Yeah, it's like a 2.5 hour drive from where I live.
Yeah, that's sort of like me in Phoenix. I always end up erring on the side of driving home, and then I kick myself the whole time. So it's like 5 hours worth of driving each time to save a couple of bucks, really, by the time you pay for gas, and basically not have time to BS or just hang out with people because I've got to worry about driving and sleeping and everything. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for y'all for jumping in and for traveling to the show to be eyes and ears for everybody. We were just talking about the experience in Indianapolis there with potentially a Bloomberg campaign, I guess, to put up these confusing signs that are not necessarily legal, but definitely visible from what it sounds like and what you were telling us about an Instagram post from earlier. I'll screen share that.
Yeah, we parked and came out of we went straight from the house here to the convention center. We parked in the parking garage and came down. None of us we hadn't had anything to eat yet, so I went in to grab a donut and to commiserate with Sarge, and I came back out from there, and Tardot told me that they had this sign. I didn't see it when I went in because what you can see there on the right-hand side is the where the window stops, but the doors going into that place are set back probably 5 or 10 feet from there. So the doors are actually underneath an overhang, and those go into the shop. So I never saw that when I went in and got my donut. And Tardot told me when I came out that it was there. So when we were leaving, I went back and I took this picture, and I noticed something a little strange about that picture. If anybody else can see that, is that on the left we have the sign that Bloomberg put up, and on the right we have the Indy welcomes NRA.
And that one's on the left, ironically.
So I went in there I went back in there to ask him about that. This was about 5:30 or so. It was after it wasn't the show hadn't completely shut down for the day, but it was after Olight's product announcement and me getting back to the media room and meeting up with Tardot and Gunpowder. So this was probably pretty close to 6 o'clock when I went back in there. And I went in and stood there for about 5 minutes. I could hear people arguing in the back, and nobody came out to the front. So I ended up leaving again without the chance to talk to anybody. I didn't expect there to be a manager or anybody at 6 o'clock, on Thursday night, but I was going to give it a shot, but nobody came back out.
Well, today's Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. Yep.
That really would have been a good time, though, because when they're busy and everything, would have been great. But, they're not going to be amenable to doing store policy decisions when they're in the middle of this kind of donut rush, right? So, and the calm time would be the time to actually, I think it's an opportunity to go in there and be like, hey, look, you realize that's, you got a weird irony going on in your window there.
Oh, yeah, that was especially when I saw that it had both competing ideals there. Was to go in and just see if there was a manager there and see, okay, do you understand that these are two completely separate ideals that you're espousing in your windows, or do you not know that the one is there? Did somebody maybe put that up? But like I said, I know there was at least two people working because I could hear two people arguing in back, but nobody ever came out front. And Tardot and Gunpowder were standing outside, and it was windy and cold, and he was wearing a skirt, so I left so we could get back to the car. And he calls it a kilt, but it's a skirt.
I wonder how many of those signs got put up just by somebody, and then nobody paid attention, and they just don't even realize. By the time they realize everything's done and they accomplished their goal, they just sent out a bunch of people with Scotch tape and signs.
Yeah, that's honestly what I was wondering, because when it's right there next to the one that says, "Hey, welcome NRA," you got to wonder.
So aside from that, how was the show today?
It was good. It was this is literally my second event of any kind like this. The first being going to Wanamaker 3 weeks ago. So it's a lot different than Wanamaker because this is industry. So, and I mean, you get Wanamaker, and there was 4,200 tables and 11 acres, and most of those tables are one person, or you might have a little shop or something like that. And then you go to this, and it's all industry. You can't buy any guns, but the guns, there's guns there from the manufacturers and from everybody else. And places like SIG and Remington and Winchester and all the big manufacturers basically set up storefronts in there. So it's a lot different than Wanamaker. I think having Wanamaker as a prep was nice, but this is this is something that's going to prep me for SHOT Show, because this is the industry.
Yeah, from some of the pictures I seen from a couple of pictures that were up today, the boots definitely seem different than what I'm used to in NRA, where like the proper, I guess, one of the clothing companies had like, I mean, like you say, like a store display, the same kind of display they'd have at like a surplus store, shelves of like each product, all the different sizes. I'm assuming they weren't free, so you were paying for them. But
Yep.
so they had like cash registers and stuff set up at some of these booths.
Yeah, I would imagine they had card readers. I bought Savoy leather and it looks like Savoy, but he actually pronounces it Savoy. He made my Every Second Matters holster. It's the one I wear for Every Second Matters. He does fantastic work, but he had some stuff set up there, and they had a little card reader, like a little square reader or something there, and of course he was taking cash too, and he just had like the small stuff like the wallets and stuff like that. Voodoo Tactical, they basically had a storefront set up there. Red Rock Outfitters, which was it's another tactical bag kind of thing. They had basically a storefront there. They had like the center section of it was all the stock, and then around it they had all the products, and that was for a lot of them. Apex Triggers was there. They had a bunch of stuff. I did an interview with Snag Mag, which is it's kind of like a zero bulk mag holster. Go in your pocket, and it's got a little like a knife clip on it. And they had a bunch of stuff there that they were selling. But yeah, everybody that's got something to sell is there selling it.
Well, got dead air, so I am going to jump over to a letter that Mr. Knives just linked on the gun channel side. So YouTube sucks, and they don't even allow you to send links, probably because they have an anonymous system that allows trolls and other assholes to abuse the system. Over on gun channels, we don't allow that, so we have ability to send links, and Mr. Knives just sent a link in the text chat over there. This is Wayne LaPierre's letter to the board. Does it say? Responding to the NRA board members' demand that he resign. So this is LaPierre's letter dated April 25th, and it's just 5 paragraphs long. It says, "Dear members of the board, leaders in every walk of life must often choose between what is true and what is polite, between what is convenient and what is right. I believe each of you made that choice when you joined the NRA board. Despite a political climate that maligns our founding freedoms, you elected to walk the principled path and not the popular one." Next paragraph. "Yesterday evening, I was forced to confront one of those defining choices, styled in the parlance of extortionist as an offer I couldn't refuse. I refused it. Delivered by a member of our board on behalf of his employer, the extortion was simple: resign or there will be destructive allegations made against me and the NRA. Alarmed and disgusted, I refused the offer. This letter explains why. As you know, the NRA has over the past year taken steps to strengthen its efforts to document and verify compliance with our vendors with our purchasing practices and their contracts. As stated in a pending lawsuit, we've met extraordinary resistance from one vendor, Ackerman McQueen. As most of you know, I've been a proponent of Ackerman, AM, in the past because they are capable of doing high quality work. But as I've discovered, AM is capable of something much different. Yesterday at approximately 3 p.m., Colonel North placed a phone call to one of the most senior staff members. Millie returned the call and took notes, the substance of which appears below. Colonel North stated that the purpose of the call was to relay the contents of a letter drafted by Ackerman McQueen. According to Colonel North, he had been advised by a board member and employee of Ackerman's client that unless I resigned as executive vice president of the association, Ackerman would transmit this allegedly damaging letter to the entire NRA board. According to Colonel North, the letter was bad for me, 2 other members of my executive team, and the association.
And if you click that link down below, there's the rest of the letter.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read anything else, but how much more is there?
Well, the second and third pages The first page is a repeat of what you've already read. So,
Okay, then he goes on to say that believes the purpose of the letter is to humiliate me, to discredit our association, raise appearances of
Impropriety.
thank you, that hurt our members in the Second Amendment. The letter would contain a devastating account of our financial status, sexual harassment charges against a staff member, accusations of wardrobe expenses, and extensive staff travel expenses. And in bold here it says, but then Colonel North explained that the letter would not be sent if I were to promptly resign as your executive president, and if I supported Colonel North's continued tenure as president. He stated that he could negotiate an excellent retirement for me. After Colonel North concluded his telephone call with Millie, others informed me that I needed to withdraw the NRA lawsuit against AM or be smeared. My almost 40-year relationship with whatever never not once did the agency make these allegations against me or the NRA. They are conveniently making them now, only as they face scrutiny in Virginia court as the prospect of having to comply with our demand for book records. Some of the blah, blah, blah. It's painful for me. I will not judge Colonel North. I must report what many of you already know. He has a contractual financial loyalty to AM. Last year, he entered into an employment agreement with the agency that pays him millions of dollars annually. Talk about the pot on the kettle black. Supposedly in exchange for hosting NRA TV documentary series. AM bargained to deliver the 12-figure length episodes of American Heroes within whatever, demanding, what the hell is all this? So ultimately, this letter is not about AM or Colonel North or this other guy. This is about you and me. When I became your executive vice president, I took an oath to defend the freedoms for what the NRA stands against all adversaries and threats. It's regrettable that threats now emanate from our fiduciaries and friends. But so long as I have your confidence and honor that humbles me daily, I will not back down. Serving this association has been the greatest honor of my life and not one I will willingly forfeit in exchange for backroom retirement deal. Pretty sure we don't want him to have a fancy retirement. We want him to leave broke and owe us money, right?
That would be nice.
I believe the board.
Don't go away, Matt. Just go away views. You know?
Go away and leave all your money and shut the fuck up. So, okay, so somebody did bring this to him, and he's now doing this. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., there's a meeting of the membership, and they're going to, like Jeff said, probably get in there and say how great they are and say, hey, now if everybody's okay, so let's close this member meeting and let's get back to the fun stuff. And it's a necessity of the membership to get in there and say, no, we demand that we do not accept this letter from asshole Pierre, and it's time for him to withdraw his horrible running of this organization and everything he's stolen from it.
it's quite the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have to be a member that's paid, like a paid membership, or can any member go in there, or is they gonna do something
As I
weird?
understand, this is not a voting thing. This is just meeting of the members. So you just have to be a member.
Just have to. Okay, I'll go. I'll be there.
At about the 1 hour and 10-ish minute mark, there's right at the end of the conversation with Jeff, he talks about if he were at the meeting, what he recommends members do. And that's, again, go to that meeting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, which is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And don't let them end the meeting without resolving to get rid of LaPierre, ideally.
I heard there's expensive parking there, G, from $55 all the way down to like $35. So I hope there's no protesters there so they don't take up our parking for people that want to go there and enjoy themselves.
What I heard, there were only 50 protesters there today.
So did see protesters then?
That guy's wife said she saw some, but there were only about 50.
Yeah, she said there was about 50, and then there was some media following them around. So they'll probably spin it out to be that there was 3,000 of them, but in reality, there's only around 50.
Well, typically, like say, what they'll do in the past is they'll find a spot where they can, maybe they were recon or something, but they'll find a spot where they can get good pictures, and then they'll flash mob or whatever that's called. They'll bring a bunch of people in quickly with their whatever shirts, hats, colored stuff on, so they show unity or whatever, and then they'll take, they'll stage them all, they'll take the pictures. And it was 2 2 years ago, 3 years ago in Kentucky or whenever. We were talking to Haas one time, just bullshitting with him in a chat like this. And he's like, he looked around and there was this thing happening or whatever, if I remember right. So it happens pretty quick. And I'm not aware of anybody that puts a deliberate effort into watching for it. I think it'd be definitely beneficial for everybody involved to have some sort of bird's eye view of that spectacle if and when it happens. You imagine having a camera sitting there just on a tripod watching a bunch of people choreographed come in, set themselves up. I'm sure there's going to be some bit of movement or whatever as they shuffle around and, to the photographer to get everything lined up, take a few pictures and then scatter. And if someone were able to take that and show what really happened and then compare it to whatever their final result would be, to, like you're saying, try to give the impression that they, were there and a bunch of people cared or whatever, compared to the 80,000 people that travel from all over the country to show up to the actual convention.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to the meeting tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get everybody else here in the house to go with me, because I don't know how uncomfortable I'm going to make them, but I'm planning on raising at least a little bit of a fuss, because I did travel here, and like I told on Gary's show earlier tonight, until your show last night, I really hadn't thought about going to the meeting. I was here for the industry and the experience, but I'm definitely willing to. I'm not just going to talk the talk. I'm gonna walk the walk too. And
I figure it takes one person to get up into that line. I'm usually in a meeting. There's some sort of microphones and they'll have lines. So if somebody can get up there and say, "We demand LaPierre's resignation," and then as many people as possible who are like-minded to cheer, right? And then they can disregard that all they want. But when the next person gets up and says, "We demand LaPierre's resignation," that we do not accept his letter, and a bunch of people cheer, right? That's a lot different than, like Jeff was suggesting, "Hey, everybody's tired now. We've been chatting a long time. Why don't we get back to the fun stuff in the other room? Who's here to adjourn? Who says we should adjourn?"
Yep.
Speaking of adjourning, hat joke here, so shut it down.
I did on his show earlier. Was showing that he's got one of the orange honey caps that he's planning on wearing to the meeting tomorrow.
That's pretty cool. I wish there was some way to get like a picture. Maybe there is a way to get a picture of what it looked like in '77, like what their hats looked like. Let's find out. Anyway, so let me play host here. We got Gizzard jumping in from Kansas, Obnoxious here from the NRA show. We've got Rich. Where are you at? Are you at the show? Muted.
I was trying to find the mute button. Didn't want to click. No, I'm at home. I'm in West Virginia.
Right on. Then we got Roll Call from Indiana jumping in from the show. And then Outlaw just jumped in from the South Carolinas. I just did a search for NRA Revolt hat. Let's see if we can find what their hat looked like. But in 1977, people were getting sick of the NRA's garbage, so they all put on a hat. And that was enough to get everybody riled up to change the board to all vote in favor of getting rid of the board. And I can't find it. But yeah, from what I'm told, it was an orange hunter safety hat type of, and a baseball cap.
Yeah, Roll Call was supposed to bring those to us, but he didn't.
And I can't find a Walmart. And then I heard the Walmarts aren't even open 24 hours. I'm like, how are you supposed to live in this place? No wonder I live up north.
Up north.
You do realize there was a time when Walmarts didn't stay open all the time.
We're past that.
When did Walmart switch to 24? Because that's true. I can't remember when Kmart was like the big store, and then.
Oh yeah, I remember when Kmart was the big store. I remember when Walmart and Kmart was neck and neck. Now Walmart's putting everybody out of business.
But I don't remember when they went to 24 hours. For a long time, I didn't go to Walmart at all. Like I didn't like that. Whenever they switched from like really emphasizing made in USA to not giving a shit, that's when I quit going to Walmart so much. That was years ago.
Well, the first one I can recall being open 24 hours was in the mid 90s in Marietta, Georgia.
Holy crap, that's a long time ago. I would assume it was been internet days. All right, so on Fridays, one of the things we've been doing is taking a look at the main page of gun channels. So if I go over here and open up gun channels, when you log in as a member of gun channels, you're going to arrive at this main news feed. And if you scroll down that main news feed, we get to basically last week. Sunday night, Angelina had a room open so that people could hang out and chat. We call those lobbies, and people are welcome to host those anytime. Mr. Knives just sent us the link to that article from LaPierre. He hosts lobby chat almost every single day. So we're looking back on Monday, and it looks like Monday morning, Patriot posted a video about how he folds his cash, right? Or no, wait, this was life hacks to improve situational awareness. I guess that's a different video. I didn't see that one. Then you got Travis posting something about this 10 millimeter Glock 40 he's got. Is that his, or is he just using that to shoot? Is that like a loaner, or is that his? Anybody know?
It
I haven't
might
seen
be
the
from
video.
Stan.
What?
Might be from SS Pawn.
That's what I thought, but I'm not sure. But then we've got Knives posted something about California ammo laws. Doesn't look like I looked at that one. And we had Willis Lee on earlier this week on, I guess that was Monday, to chat about what it's like to be a board member. We actually just talked to him about where he is and where he came from and why he's doing what he's doing. We'll have him on again, though, after the NRA show, chat about, the news, I guess, after the show. We are at a pretty crucial time here for the NRA, so we'll see if, especially with LaPierre resisting his resignation, what really happens and what the board ends up doing.
Hey, quick question, G. When did you guys catch the buzz about LaPierre? Because honestly, that buzz, it's gonna be all the rage tomorrow. But that buzz was not going around the floor today. I honestly didn't hear about it until I got off the floor and sat down for dinner.
Yeah, well, they're not going to encourage something like that, I'm sure. But yeah,
they're
that's
not going to encourage it.
but
But somebody else would have posted, some other news source would have posted it. Somebody would have reposted it. It would have hit. You know what I'm saying?
It could have. People are busy there. I've never seen anything shut down any trade show. I've seen the bump stock, not the bump stock, the brace decision. I've seen the M855 decision,
no, but
I've seen the barrel decision all happen at SHOT Show, and nothing shut it down. I've seen Obama do the 23 executive actions at SHOT Show. Nothing shuts down a trade show. There's no news that I've ever seen shut down.
I'm not talking about shutting it down. I'm talking about
making people take a pause. The only thing that's ever made anybody take a pause at a trade show so far has been Obama's executive actions in 2000.
Exactly, and play this. I think that was my first SHOT Show. And when that happened, within minutes, the wind spread like wildfire. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I'm saying. This ain't that kind of news, though. This is I guess it could be. You're right, but that's interesting to know that it's not going around. But it didn't really go around on Instagram. We only saw it twice.
Tomorrow, everybody, their mother's going to talk about.
Well, I hope that a lot of people there at 10 a.m. at the meeting to challenge his stupid ass letter. All right, so now we're getting to.
Well, it all depends, because then at the same time you have all these people saying, "Well, the NRA shit," and I renounce my membership. I'm only going there as media. Think about all those.
Okay, yeah. So the 1,000 people in media are going to affect anything?
No, but those 1,000 people in media are the ones that probably care the most and would go there and boo the most.
I don't think so. They've proven that they don't care at all. So I don't agree with that at all. Anyway, we're talking about the main page of gun channels right now. Talking about news.
Sorry.
So Gary's got an interview here with Farmington Hills Leather. I didn't see that one. Is that a long one or is it a little one or a long one?
It's about 5 or 6 minutes.
Right on. And that's over on the streamer?
Yes.
Right on. Let's see. Dead Horse was talking about Dead Horse was having some issue with a thing. What was it called? Discord. It was kind of broke or something, running on his computer all the time. So we walked him through how to shut that thing down so that when his computer turns on every morning, it doesn't run that Discord software, and that was causing him some kind of conflict. And he hasn't said anything about it, so hopefully that fixed it for him. Anybody wants to know about fixing computers and stuff or making computers work better, that's something that we a lot of times don't. I think that might be the first time we actually focused on that. But that is something that's, sort of a kind of a given, I guess, or a necessity that we don't think about. But having a working computer, a computer that works efficiently, can make all the difference. So if anybody's having real difficulty or fighting their computers, Clover, Night Strike, probably all interested in having a chat with you about how to just do some general things to make a computer work less strenuously, so that it can put 100% of its resources toward what you're asking it to do, and not what and it just happens on a computer if you just let it wander.
I need to talk to somebody about how to unpartition my solid state drive.
Unpartition it? Okay.
Yeah, because it's a 250 gig solid state drive, and they put it in, and it came from the factory in 2 partitions. So I've got 2 125 gig partitions, and one of them has Windows on it. So I'm running up against that where you don't have enough free memory to do anything on that partition, even though the other one has got 80-90 gigs open on it on the same drive.
Yeah,
so
we can definitely talk about that. There's a couple of ways to deal with that situation, which is fairly common. So some Monday or during one of the 2A workshops, jump in, or if you need a special time, we can arrange something.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I know I have to get some. I probably need a program and copy it over to like a external drive, and then copy everything back. But
no, a lot of times people don't know what they're doing do really unnecessarily complicated things. But a lot of times, if you know what you're doing, you can just do some quick surgery and never move nothing. And we always at Microsoft, we always considered it the ultimate of weakness to have to uninstall or move anything. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can go in and pull the bad parts out.
Okay.
All right. So then we got Ellis, who's in here right now, does his show on Mondays. Was it a good show?
Yeah, mute button. Yeah, they're all good shows. I love my shows. Had Gary on there. We had decent chat. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Gotta be good if Gary's there.
I have noticed that here lately, Gary is making himself known on everybody's shows. So, good for you, Gary.
He's ghosting it. Stupid.
No ghost.
All right. So then we got.
There was no G-Webs either, for that matter, which is always.
Mondays I always get either, because what happens is they start talking about some nerd garbage, right? Their stupid zombie nerd garbage for a while. Then they talk to about something interesting for maybe an hour, and then they start doing the battle of the bracket, and then that ends up going way late. So I think I blow past your show almost every single week.
Yeah, pretty much. That's okay though.
Wait, Matt. So then we got Bishop posted their patches. I wonder if Angelina made those for him. Wait, now. So then we got Night Strike posting the Daily Gun Show. I guess I did not do that. Do we have a show Monday? Yeah, we did. Then Dead Horse talking about something about FPC, talking about something going on in Florida. Then we got their patches again, shooting something. Of course, St. 5 Bishop. Knives running the lobby on Tuesday. Again, running live lobbies almost every single day. Anytime you want, you can head over to the lobby and hang out. But you can also go down over here somewhere. Scroll thing. Go over here somewhere. Click on this for $25. We send you a pack of stickers that have a couple of different Mr. Knives things in there and some gun channel stuff. And then we send Knives $20 out of there through PayPal as soon as you buy it. So anybody that wants to say thanks to Mr. Knives for doing his thing is welcome and encouraged to buy a pack of stickers. Angelina makes those and we send them out. Let's see. Then we got some more pictures from the shop, it looks like. Got Sandhills doing his show on Tuesday, and he was starting his dissecting the Bill of Rights. And I think he said that they ended up speaking the whole chat about the first. So next week they're going to be doing Q&A type of thing with him and his wife. And then the week after, they'll get back to the Bill of Rights, and they'll start on the 2nd. So I'm assuming that'll be either a very short or very long discussion, right?
Yeah, we went 2 hours on Tuesday night just talking about the First Amendment.
Did it like completely do it, or was that like 2 hours and like, okay, let's
No,
just...
that was the whole show was just talking about the First Amendment.
I guess I'm saying, was that like resolved? Was that finished, or was it like we're at 2 hours, we're just ending it now?
We actually went over to 2 hours by a little bit, but the whole show was that, and we weren't actually arguing. We were just discussing it.
I don't know that we ever completely resolved it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we've got Scott posted this link to kind of neat news that was it CZ is going to Arkansas, $90 million facility in Arkansas. That's pretty cool. So Ghost will be shilling CZs now for sure. 565 jobs, $90 million. See, that seems crazy, right? $90 million. That's like building a factory and a parking lot. I mean, they're just building a big Amazon thing here. So I'm like watching it be built. You know, they tear down everything that costs money and jobs. They put down a giant parking lot, massive, like freaking giant parking lot that costs money and jobs. And like the blacktop don't come out of somebody's butt. Somebody's making jobs for that blacktop and all that concrete and everything, the lights. Then they go in there and build a giant building, right? Then they're going to put all the electricity and the drywall and all the plumbing in there. That's jobs. So this 500 jobs, that's weak. I mean, it's more like thousands of people are going to get, business from that $90 million. That $90 million.
Hey, quick question, G. Is it all of CZ that's moving, or is it just like the manufacturing part? Like,
I didn't read the article, but like most companies, they have to either have a company here for like tax or import or something. Like, so they usually put like a subsidiary, kind of like what Glock does. They have like a factory in each like hemisphere or something, so that they kind of have the presence. So I don't think that CZ is going to leave Czechoslovakia. I think they're just creating
Well, they've had a U.S. office
but
for
like,
a while because it's in Kansas City, Kansas.
That's what I was saying. Like, they're technically already in Kansas, so
I don't know shit about that part. I thought this was the first time they're coming to America.
Yeah. So my question is, like, are they moving all the Kansas jobs to Arkansas? Because, like, for example, like Beretta left Maryland to go to some southern state or whatever. We pass our, like when we pass our assault weapons ban. But when they did that, there's maybe, instead of being like 500 employees of Beretta in Maryland, there's now like 22 employees of Beretta, and they're all like corporate. You know what I'm saying? So corporate headquarters of Beretta USA is still in Maryland.
So like, are they going to have 500 jobs brand new, or is that like 500 jobs coming from Kansas?
Well, no. So
I don't think they're doing any manufacturing in Kansas.
So if they take the place from Kansas and move it to Arkansas, are you still going to talk to Ghost?
Oh, sure.
That
they
seems
be wanting to manufacture some guns that they can't import. I mean, there's certain things you can't import, like 380s are awful hard to import, for example.
That seems unfair, though. Doesn't Ghost already have Walther?
Yeah, and freaking Wilson and Nighthawk.
That's totally
companies now.
That's totally unfair.
Well, I tell you what we can do. We can talk to them and have them come to South Carolina.
No, they need to go to they need to go to the better Carolina.
I'm afraid if too much stuff goes to South Carolina that it's going to tip over and everything will fall into the ocean. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's going to.
And they don't need anything in Georgia because Georgia's already got Glock and HK, right? So
yeah, they got Glock.
Well, exactly. That's why we need, CZ. We have to have something to counterbalance Georgia's Glock.
And HK. Don't forget HK.
I'd like to just have one chat where Ellis doesn't come in here and his jealousy of Glock, his love of Glock doesn't.
Oh, I do love Glock. Glock's a wonderful company.
All right, so we got John Brown. I thought he was already a member, but it looks like he's signing in. I don't think everybody gets these alerts. That's probably because I'm an admin. I don't think everybody gets.
He was having trouble signing up because he was sending me an email asking some questions. So for the longest time, he had trouble signing up on Gun Channel. So he must have finally got in.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for helping him out. Cool.
You bet.
All right, so then let's see. I found out on whatever day that was, Tuesday, that the part I'd been waiting for like over a week. I called them and I'm like, "Where's this part?" Like they're like, "Oh, it's 2 weeks out. We haven't even, we ordered the part when you ordered the part." So I had to cancel that. I have to go check to make sure I got my money back, and then ordered the part off of eBay that I'm still waiting for. But Anyway, I found my schematic, so I know what my machine's supposed to look like in there now. Uh-oh. Probably shouldn't have done that. Now we're going to scroll for a little bit.
Oh, was that for your sewing machine?
Yeah, the embroidery one. I busted the screen, and when I replaced the screen part I busted, it turns out there's a piece behind the screen that's actually the display. So, like once I dug in there and took it apart, I figured out I busted like 3 different parts. All right, so I don't know, somewhere around here. Where were we? I think we were right around here. Oh, okay. So then we got this review from Walther. Who's that? Is it the scroll working? Shit. Are you kidding me? It's the same damn thing. All right. Intermission. So, what are you all planning on doing on Sunday? Any events planned on Sunday before everybody leaves town?
I don't think so. I think everybody's kind of planning on doing their own thing on Sunday and then just leaving when they're done.
Not like Vegas where there's like sightseeing to do, or like Tulsa where there's like there's actually things to do, so you could probably stick around, but like sometimes people are flying, and because of that, people don't have to worry about it. Stick around.
Like, I mean, like, Indiana really isn't great for sightseeing, but my question to you was, I typically don't know everyone that's here. What's the best way for me to try to get the G Circle picture? Obviously, because I created it, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, I hear you. I tried to figure out, like, I think they're planning on doing it tomorrow at the barbecue or something. But I'm hoping.
So other people are going to take my idea somewhere else.
Yes,
that's what's called sharing, and
I'm totally taking credit for it too.
But it needs to be at the show. Only Simon ain't gonna be there.
If you're a little handy there, you can't be in the picture.
I don't know if Mike MW Tactical is going to be at that barbecue, and Tony Simon, and who else? Ryan Shotgun with Charlie. You know, if those people who have been on my shows or been on Clover shows or Ghost, and been on other people's shows, like understand what we're talking about. Like, it'd be cool to get a giant thing. So anyway, yeah, somebody's got to do that, or somebody's got to
definitely talk to Clover and that guy's wife tomorrow, because I think it's at their place that we're going over there for the barbecue. So
is there's like some place where everybody could stand at the bottom of like a staircase, or like some kind of pendulum, or some sort of art display or something that would look cool, or be Indianapolis-ish? Do they have anything at this event center that's like in Indianapolis, like a car, something to, like convention centers will have something that's like the theme of the town?
No, it's just been a convention center. I haven't seen anything that jumped out as Speedway-ish or anything like that. I don't think they've even. I haven't even seen it.
Speedway.
Yeah.
I think the Speedway is kind of northeast, right, Pink?
And like we went north. We went north the first day we got here to get the pork tenderloin sandwich. We went north. I went north to go pick up my pass at the pork tenderloin sandwich place. We went north today for the Foot and Seal range event. Did not see it at all.
I don't remember where it is. It's probably in the middle of town by now. I'm sure the town's grown around it. So this was, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Does anybody know this guy, Slavin Turiski or something? Posted this video up, though. It looks like his channel's mostly games and stuff. But he did a cool open the box type of review. He pitching about having to spend money again. There's Travis pouring out packs that he gets for nothing in the box of big tack pack.
That beard of his is getting awful night strike-ish.
All them beard oils he gets in these tack packs. It's making it lush and rich. He can't help. He doesn't even want to cut it anymore. Probably can't find clippers that'll cut through that kind of beard.
Oh no, it's probably.
Well, I'm sure that one of his tack packs will come with some sort of like razor cutter to help you guys with their
like hedge trimmers or something.
Yeah, like with hardened blades.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Ghost doing his Tuesday show, which he does every Tuesday. Ramman's talking about his 5th anniversary on Gun Channels on Tuesday. Pretty cool. I don't know if he got an alert or something. Do you guys get an alert when you're like anniversary? Maybe because he got charged, probably. Tells you like, oh, you got to pay. You paid whatever, $12. Night Strike did his hit or miss show on Tuesday. They're showing some reloading, I guess, tumblers. Zorro had an off-air chat. Night Strike had a chat. Video of some Chacho gun. Ants doing here. Oh, Ants says his YouTube and Gmail were locked for violating terms of service. That sucks. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know he was making videos. And then here's Patriot talking about that folding thing. You guys seen how blind people fold their money?
No, I haven't.
Seen that before?
Haven't seen that one yet.
They'll fold them in different shapes and different ways, so then they can, by touch, know if they're grabbing a 20 or a 10 or 5 or whatever.
So it's funny. Like I always had this super like cheap friend in childhood, and like we'd always clown him for being cheap. And he would never like fold his bills in half or whatever. They were always folded like 10 over, and like like by the time like he needed to find like a 1, he would have to like unfold them all to like find the 1. And it was just funny because 1, he was cheap. 2, he would always have to go through this process to find like a certain bill. We still clown to this day. So
he was just making sure it was worth it to get down to that.
Exactly. That's how you make sure that it's worth that $2.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, this is also like the biggest, like sluttiest and pervy friend, like the one that's always encouraging you to go to like the strip club or whatever, which I find really entertaining.
Because he wants you to spend the $2 on a dance all the time.
$2? What kind of crackhead are
you? Economy strip clubs. All right, so then got Guns and Gadgets posting a thing about Colorado Supreme Court. Glad to see him posting stuff over here. Then Jeff Knox was on Wednesday talking about NRA. Honda posted this thing about his Evo AK. Rick did his Wednesday show, Shooting with Disabilities, on Wednesday afternoon. Then Zorro posted something about TV shows. Gary posted a video about an engraving place in Tulsa. You get anything?
There's actually an engraving place in Alaska.
Is this that guy this is different than that table from last year?
I think they were there last year too.
But didn't you do a video of a guy who had a bunch of engraved guns, but those were like old engraved guns, right?
Yeah, that was a collector. This guy actually is a guy up in Alaska that does custom engraving, and his work is just fabulous.
Yeah, I didn't get a video of it. I think I got some B-roll of it. That was in mine.
Yeah, I've got some stills too. They're really nice.
It was phenomenal stuff.
Was he doing any engraving there? Like sometimes they'll bring their stuff and set up.
He wasn't actually there, as far as I know. It was just a sales representative.
Oh, okay. Anybody take a look at Rupan's picture here? Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. So I don't know if you can see that picture, but it's a theoretical question. If you were to SBR your vehicle or Form 1 your vehicle, and then put a thread adapter on one door and then just a hole on the other door, and call your vehicle the blast chamber, would it be an NFA item? And then if so, if you quit paying the bill on it and they tried to impound it, would that be technically legal since it's an NFA item? Are they allowed to possess it? It's an interesting theoretic.
I believe my catalytic converter is already an NFA item.
What?
I believe my catalytic converter is already an NFA item, and it's registered in the state, and have to and particularly in my state, I have to re-register it every 2 years. I don't know about y'all, but
I never thought about that. You could put some sort of a hole in your exhaust pipe and then shoot down through your catalytic converter behind you. No one would ever hear it.
Then shoot all the carbon out.
So that person is talking about Glock 17 that survives an 18-year torture test, including 6 months in police. Never heard of a police test.
Yeah, 18? No, I see 17 written there.
A Glock 17 survives 18 years.
Okay. I was about to say like a Glock 18 survives almost 2 decades. I don't believe that.
Then we got Muscle Dog posted probably an off-air chat. Guns and Gadget posted this thing about the signs we were just talking about earlier. He reposted your picture too. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
Oh, and then we got Knives jumping in or posting a chat on Thursday. And Pink added a photo. Well, what's the photo? Show up, I wonder. Oh, it's this weird pizza that you guys ate.
That's the pizza I ate. It's
I think
so
there's cheddar and bacon one, and then what's this? Feta cheese and something?
yeah. So I really wanted a white pizza, but the best appetizer that I saw was So you know what potato skins are, like loaded potato skins. They had a loaded pizza potato, and what it is, it's pizza dough, and instead of pizza sauce, it's a garlic mashed potato sauce with melted cheddar and bacon, just like a loaded potato would be. But it's basically a loaded potato with just, instead of potato skin, it's a crust, and mashed potatoes instead of a baked potato, the portion between. And that shit was awesome and so fucking filling. Oh my!
The hell's gonna eat that as an appetizer? And then what's the other half?
Well, the other half was just a white pizza because I really wanted a white pizza, and the problem was that by the time I ordered it, just the mashed potatoes in there and everything was so filling. I ate one slice of white pizza, 2 slices of the potato skins and cheddar, and I was done. I was done. I literally threw away like half a pizza.
What? All right. So, are you eating this loaded pizza that he's describing?
Nope.
You're a liar.
I haven't had that.
No, you haven't.
Would be airy if he would eat it.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Obnoxious.
No.
There's enough bacon. Oh, you're an idiot because there's enough bacon on there for everyone to say yes.
Pink?
Yep.
Rich?
I'd try it.
Roll call?
I give it a go.
Outlaw.
Why not?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I think I wouldn't eat it as an appetizer, though. I would eat it as just food. And then what's this going on? Just some kind of salad with cheese on it?
It was just a Caesar salad because I try to be healthy, so whatever. Obnoxious. If your little hand was there, it would have ate it. I'm gonna keep that.
His little
Oh,
hand
yeah.
stuck in there.
Marco was all upset with me today because I didn't bring my little hand.
Let's see. So then we got
It's so creepy. It's cool.
this is a quote from Washington, 1796, but it's appropriate today. Guard against imposture. What is this? Imposture. Guard against the imposture of pretended patriotism. It's an impostorers, right? So it's guard against the impostorers of pretended patriotism. All right. Patriot also pointed to this thing about the Bloomberg signs in Indianapolis. Knives posted something about
So we didn't get the link early enough to talk about that, but I heard you guys talking about that. You know what was funny? So because Trump was coming into town and these people don't know how to act, literally, I run into Trump maybe 3 times a week, no bullshit. And these people don't know how to act because they shut whatever area he was in way too far away for what he fucking did. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to say for what he is, but it's not like we have worse traffic in Indianapolis and we don't block traffic that far out. These people just went overboard because they're just not used to having the president around. And where I come from, we are. Like I said, I run into them all the time. But so the closest we could get was like 2.5 blocks away. It was about 2.5, 3 blocks, 2.5 blocks. Let's just call it 2.5 blocks. So we got out and we started walking. And when we got about midway through there, but maybe a block, we were less than a block away. This guy walking back toward us was like, they're not gonna let you in. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And at that, because keep in mind, we had already got our press passes a day early. So our press passes were flashing and showing and And the guy was like, yeah. I walked all the way up front. And it's funny because the convention center is right across the street from the stadium. And the stadium is where the president was speaking and where Pence was speaking. And they were like, yeah, like I try to get in there and they turn me around. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why are you talking to me? Like, I was just dumbfounded. And he's like, yeah, like you can't take any backpacks in there. And I'm like, I was like, what? Like, I've been to like 5 NRAs. Like, how am I supposed to carry my camera gear? This is not an option. Like, you're jiving me right now. So, like, I just kept walking and like just like almost giving the guy the cold shoulder or whatever, and like kept talking to him, but like still kept moving or whatever. And we were like, well, like, where did you go? And he's like, I was just walking up the street, and a guy came up to me and was like, they're not gonna let you in because you have a backpack. And we were like, well, we've been to like 5 NRAs and we always have a backpack on us, and they let us in. And then the dude was like, yeah, me, like he's like, yeah, I've been to a couple as well. And I was like, okay. And then we're like, well, where'd you go? Did you go? Because to the like we're getting close to the intersection. At the
All right,
intersection,
we don't need to hear every fucking detail. Did they let you in with your backpack or not?
they did, but the funny thing is that we don't know if the dude was. So it was left to go to the stadium to go see Trump. It was right to go to the convention to go to NRA. And the real question was it and now that like all this other shit came up as far as a sign, the question is, was it a plant that was there scaring people off, saying you can't get in, or was it really just a dude that lost configuration between left and right?
If there was a bunch of people doing it and we heard it from like 6 different people, then that would be something I'd say maybe they had some plants out there. That's just somebody maybe, like you say, was just misunderstood something or went to the wrong door. All right, so then we got this folding AR that folds to the right. That seems unnecessary, but yes, whatever. I guess it's better folding to the left. Ben Edge posted this thing the other day. This was on Thursday, I guess. So I don't know what that means. Some kind of Edge coming
intro.
Yeah, some kind of Edge trailer. Oh, look, if you wait like an extra hour, there's like a little ending to it. And now you go get something to drink, go grab the kids, come back in,
take a shower,
feed the dog or something, and then, oh yeah, see a little bit extra.
Ooh.
All right, so then it ends right up. There's Cam Brown posting a picture. Then
Salamander with a mohawk.
Chavis had his Caliber Corner show on Thursdays. Sarge did his show, so that means Noxious will be doing his on Saturday or no?
Maybe.
I'm sure I can help if I'm around. Gary, I don't want to throw him under the bus, or Ellis. You know, maybe if somebody else is around, that we could help you go live if you need.
We got the cookout tomorrow, so I don't know what's going to happen, if Snob's even going to have a show or what. So it may happen. I'll probably try and get it to happen, or if we're
I should be around.
Yeah, if we're still at the cookout, then I'll probably text you, Gizzard.
Okay.
And have you start one up so we can jump in, because my computer will be here at this house.
I'll do it.
Alrighty.
Then we got Dead Horse. He didn't jump in tonight. I don't know if he's out there or not, but talking about his G30 that he got, he likes a lot, and bragging about how much he likes it. Then Bob actually sent me this in an email, kind of a neat little whiteboard, I guess, video for Canada, and I think it's just more of like a PSA in a neutral way to talk about guns in a non aggressive way, I suppose you could say.
Did anybody else catch the little Amazon commercial that was right there in the? They did the little Amazon arrow.
You mean this little arrow?
Yeah, it was right at the beginning.
Well, I mean, I think that's just.
I think Bob's trying to sell us on Amazon, or maybe he's trying to steal Amazon for Canada.
But right about here somewhere, it's going to say there's 2.2. Wait, hold on. Here it says there are 4. No, where is it? Somewhere it tells us how many guns there are. Yeah, somewhere it told us how many gun owners there are. I guess it was just this. So it says there's 2.2 million licensed. Well, I guess that is the number. There's only 2.2 million people in Canada are licensed to own firearms, and then there's 500,000 of those that are licensed to own handguns. Isn't that amazing? 2.2 million. There's 7 million gun owners in California. There's 2.2 million gun owners in all of Canada, according to this whiteboard presentation. I thought that's kind of neat. But it's a pretty decent whiteboard animation. You can get that software. I had a subscription to the software that does this from France. Good software, but just costs a little bit too much for me. Then we have the Daily Gun Show, I guess. Then 45 is showing his waiting in line. Now, you guys are talking about, Marco, you said you got dropped off and you had to walk 2 blocks or something still? Like got dropped off from Uber and then still had to walk 2 blocks? When I was in Phoenix, it looked a lot like this, but then like one of these buildings just had a giant parking garage under it, like 3 levels deep, and everybody just parked into these, underneath all the buildings. They don't have parking underneath all these buildings, I'm guessing.
That looks like it might be the bridge going from the convention center over to the Marriott that was there. And there is a big parking garage next to that. Now, for today, the problem was that it's still a work day, and and you're right down there downtown where all the state
everybody who's working is parked.
Yep, and you got the state employees in that big garage that I pulled into for like 20 minutes yesterday when I picked up my press pass. From 9 to 5 is state employee parking only.
So the thing that you're gonna realize, like at these garage, so all the nearby garages, which is like different than what SHOT is compared, because you have massive casinos nearby and massive parking structures. While there are parking structures there, is so while it is a work week and you went to the show and you thought prices were high because you're competing with work people, the fact is tomorrow is going to be just as high because everyone is off of work and twice as. Put it this, you're going to see a major influx. Like Friday is always a light day. I said this to plenty of booths. This is actually probably the worst location that I've ever been to. As far as a show, just based off of day one, the amount of slow walkers were ridiculous. It was horrible. It was almost like my first SHOT Show. As SHOT Show has progressed, the amount of carts have gone down, and that's made walking a lot easier. But walking through these aisles was really difficult. Especially right where it zigzags. It's the worst because right where it zigzags, 2/3 of it is eaten by picnic tables. So the problem with price of parking is what you think you were getting off because it's a Friday and people are still working in the downtown area. Twice as many more people are going to come downtown to actually go to this actual convention. You're going to realize those aisles tomorrow are going to be twice as full as they were yesterday. And if you notice, like later on towards the day, it got fuller and fuller and fuller. Like super early, like 10, 11 a.m., it wasn't that bad. But by the time you got to like 3 or 4, it was pretty bad on a Friday. And it's going to be worse tomorrow, Saturday. It really is. And I've noticed that all about NRAs all the time.
Oh yeah, I figured today would be the light day, and maybe Sunday as you get later it'll lighten up again. But yeah, I figured tomorrow was gonna be packed.
But the layout of the convention, and at least like the amount of I mean, like I don't know how many people like have actually been to other like major shows, and maybe like Watermaker this might relate. But the amount of lollygaggers and the people that just walk 2 by 2 super slow versus like one behind the other. Like if you're gonna walk slow, walk one behind the other. You know what I'm saying? Don't walk 2 by 2. Get the fuck out of the way because it's really bad. This is the worst I've ever seen it since my first SHOT Show because since my first SHOT Show, the amount of like drag along carts I've gone behind, it's gone down. But this has actually been the worst show that I've ever been to, simply because of the amount of lollygaggers. The
All right,
worst.
whatever. You've been there one day, so you can complain to Pink about it tonight. I'm looking at some signs here. Whenever we were looking at, where'd it go? Ohio sign over here. Where'd it go? This one here. First off, what the fuck is with this guy's face all over everything? Like, who needs to see LaPierre's face? Like, like what the hell kind of
He's about to get pushed out.
And then first off, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, that's brilliant, putting this sign up so you can't see the really expensive sign behind it. Like that could have been more well thought out, right? And then when I'm looking at this, it's going to say NRA Indy 19, which I don't know, but am I the only one, or am I reading that as Randy? Looks like Randy. It looks like one word, and I don't know what they're.
Randy.
Yeah, they're like Randy, right? Like, and obviously could do it this way, and it would. Duh! Like, what the fuck is this? Randy. That's just dumb, and I don't need to see Oliver North's face on nothing. And then I'm also gonna bitch about this one because again, they don't have colors in their fucking overlays, idiots. And then I don't need to see this guy either. So
Predator right there.
Look at, they got even shit on top. Now you go to SHOT Show, the industry show, 60,000 people show up, right? There's not even a sign out front anymore. They quit putting signs up on on SHOT Show back in like 13 or 14. They haven't put a sign on SHOT Show in years. This place has signs all over the fucking place. At least 25% of the signs are their fucking faces of three dudes. And then they got signs on the top of a walkway so that airplanes, helicopters can see it? What the fuck is that?
You know what's super surprising to me is that so I don't know how Indianapolis is set up, whether the stadium is owned actually by the state or whether it's actually owned by the team. But the fact that so like walking up there, I thought Trump was going to speak at the actual convention center. This convention center is packed to capacity, and I don't think it's fit to actually hold NRA. I really don't. Compared to other convention centers that I've been to in the past.
Well, that's the problem they have when they move every time. It's one of the good things and bad things that you get to see different convention centers. It also means you'll never get them down. Like you're always going to be experiencing a new building every year.
Every door and every window, G, had a Indy NRA sticker on it too.
Like the big wrap thing, so you can't see through the window all the way.
No, it's just like the peel and paste letters. You know how you.
Yeah, like a Shrinky Dink type of thing or whatever those are called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every door had that on it.
All right, so
no, we're almost done. We're gonna finish this up. So then we've got Trump speaking at NRA. A link to that. We got Knives doing his chat earlier today. Dead Horse posted about Henry coming out with a side door loader, and then Budget with his show from the hotel. How many people were in that one? Was that a good show?
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that because I came back, I got back to the house here and did a quick edit on a video, and then I hopped in at the end. But I think he had mostly a full show.
So you guys have two different houses there, and then a bunch of people that are in hotels randomly around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Gary posted Foul Territory, and then, of course, our show, and then another picture of the shotgun. All right, Marco, what were you going to say there? Oh, I guess I should end that, where we were just talking about Moon Newsfeed over there. So one of the features of Gun Channels, we're not trying to be the next Facebook or nothing. We're not trying to wow you with fancy special effects. I'm muting everybody because I'm getting a weird there. It was obnoxious. Everybody's muted right now.
No, so what I was gonna say was
oh yeah, you can wait a minute. So I'm finishing what I'm talking about here. We're not trying to build the next Facebook. We're not trying to impress you with fancy widgets or whatever. We're trying to build a place for people to have conversation. So when you join Gun Channels, you're not going to be encouraged to check out the fanciest new app or anything. Instead, just participate. And what we did today is look through what people have posted over on Gun Channels, either to further their own projects to start a conversation about something they found interesting, to promote something that they're either doing, creating, or a fan of. And then if you're creating content by putting stuff down on gun channels, which has been around for 6 years with thousands of people a day using the thing, it's a substantial presence on the internet. Every time you post your video or your Instagram post or your blog entry or a podcast, whatever it might be, you're creating a reciprocal link. So ideally, if we've got a channel over on Gun Channel, you post it to your channel so it's easy to find for people in the future. It automatically gets distributed to the main newsfeed. We'll talk about it on Friday. Anyone's welcome to use this resource. We've got the events over here, so you can see, besides the NRA show this month, we've got the March for Our Rights going on this weekend in Washington State. There's a long-range shooting class coming up on the 4th. There's the NSSF does a industry compliance conference, which is very heavily industry, but I put it in the event calendar in case anybody wants to cover it.
Is that in?
What?
What city is the NSSF event in?
Iowa or something like that, I think, this year.
So it moves like NRA?
Kinda. Or no, it moved like, like NRA. It's in Florida this year, but that's the industry compliance conference. It's about industry and government working together. So it's more of like somebody who's covering industry, not widgets and kit, but studying or covering, laws and incomes and amount of sales and shit like that, I would imagine. If even, maybe even importing, I don't know. Like I say, I just put it in there because NSSF does a bunch of stuff each year. We've got the 39th annual LEO training conference down in New Orleans, which is basically like competition, I think, for law enforcement, and then a sort of a mini type of trade show or industry event. We've got a Harrisburg rally, which is a Second Amendment rally in Pennsylvania. Then you've got the USCCA conference, the Concealed Carry Expo. Where's that one? Anyone? No? Oh, it's also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's hogging everything this year. Then we got the big gun collector, huh?
Can I jump in here because I do have one coming up, and I haven't looked into it too much because I kind of caught it between Wanamaker and the annual meeting here. But I did see that in North Carolina they're going to the Capitol on May 1st.
Oh,
so I'm planning.
North Carolina.
I'm planning on trying to get to that on
yeah.
Wednesday, May 1st.
Oh, and is it to a rally or something?
Yeah. I saw it. I hate to point you to it, but on Facebook, Grassroots North Carolina.
Link me to it because I won't be able to find it. I tried that on Facebook for like a half an hour the other day and I didn't win.
All right, I'll dig it out and I'll get you a link to it so that if you can get it up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like putting them on the calendar. Don't worry about the human beings that might see it or won't see it. Don't be discouraged by that because whenever you post something in the calendar, it's there forever until we're all dead in ashes and there's no more money left to keep this thing online. That link will be there, so that'll be helping that 2A rally, whoever organizes it next year and the year after and the year after, and every subsequent year they'll have a more established link over here. So definitely worth the effort to archive these things. Because again, our calendar of upcoming events becomes an archive of what's happened. And if someone wants to research something or get in, a little bit of motivation from other events that have happened, then that's one more way that we can help them find those things. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. There's this big Colorado gun show that happens this month, and then I don't know how to say that guy's name, and Armament and Axis are doing a one-day creator summit in Ohio on May 19th, and then KD is doing his training and media kind of multi-event at the end of May on the 24th. And we're going to have Kevin on next Wednesday to talk about this event. So, yeah, lots of stuff happening in May. Now I cut Mark off like 3 times. What we're going to talk about? See, if you talk long enough, Marco falls asleep. So then, let's see.
What happened? What happened? What did you say?
I'm done. So I just wanted to wrap up what we were doing there, but go ahead, cut you off.
I can't remember like what I was gonna say, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, Bob is still alive. I'm just reading some of the comments that came in while we were going through the main news feed there. A whole bunch of people have been chatting. Thanks for that. I've just been ignoring them all. Yeah, looks like Don Brown was saying hey over there. And Pants was saying RIP with his Google account. It's crazy. There's Flath out there. And then I'll go back over to the YouTube side, kind of scroll up a little bit. I guess I should flip it off the top chat. All right, well, so anything else we want to chat about tonight before we head out? Pink sounds like Marco because they're bunking together. Everybody else is sleeping, it sounds like. So I guess
we're spooning. We're busy spooning.
Which one of you is the big spoon?
I don't know. But if you take my picture ID, I appreciate a tag.
Hey, there's Mr. Knives.
No, I just want to say if anybody's in 19,
I think the original G Circle happened in Atlanta, NRA meeting, and there was like 6 of us. That was the most patches we ever had at one place at one time.
No, the original one was one time at SHOT Show when you came up with the idea, and there was like 3 of us or something that did it.
Yeah, but then Joe, but then is Joe really? I mean, so Joe's more gun websites than gun channels because
yeah, Joe wasn't there, I wouldn't be here. So yeah,
so actually like gun channels, it was like me, Pink DB. It was the first year me, Pink DB, and everyone decided to go up there. Yeah, and if you don't even know who DB is, then you're not really gun channels. That's all I got to say.
Well, it's the Gun Channel's Endgame, so that was like the first generation gun channels. They're all old and like past their capes and shields on. Oh, sorry.
That's before the wall was breaking down and the White Walkers came through.
So we're gonna do a left to right. Have you already seen Endgame, Gary?
No. Nope.
Gary?
No.
Knives?
No.
Noxious?
No, sir.
Pink?
No.
Marco said no?
No.
Rich?
Nope.
Roll call?
No.
Outlaw?
Hell no.
Damn it. I want to talk to somebody about it, and I can't because it's all
Talk to Matt. You know he's already watched it 3 times.
He's only watched it twice, I'm figuring, by now. I think he watched it Thursday, Friday, and then he'll watch it twice more, I guess. But Adam is saying a B+. Yeah, see, I don't even want to start giving it grades because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's like...
Well, give it a grade. Just give it a letter, and that's it.
If I give it an awesome grade, then people are going to go into it like, oh,
because
they're going to go into it a different way.
No, just be like, it's a B or B+. Like, I'm not going to put this. I'm personally not back in the town. So, like...
Well, anyway, I wanted to find some people that have already seen it so I could bullshit about it, but I don't want to spoil it.
I don't have a chance to see it until like midweek, this upcoming week, like Tuesday or Wednesday at best.
I'm not voting for spoiling it. There's no way I'm spoiling any part of it. I was just looking for somebody who's already seen it so we could go off air and discuss it. But I know Mike straight has. That's the only one I know who's seen it, and Mike and Matt.
I will have seen it before Monday.
Yeah, well, I figure a lot of people, and I wouldn't go on the first day either. Like I'm like Yankee. I'm not that tuned in to where like, I mean, I guess if somebody spoiled it on Instagram, I'd get spoiled. But like, I don't talk to people every day who are going to spoil it for me, so I could wait till Monday or something, and I would normally because I'm not going to the fucking movie theater on a super whatever exciting movie like on its first day. I don't like
anything about a movie theater.
Oh well, even if.
There are other ways.
Yeah, but it's bootleg though. It's like through a sleeve. Like it's not guaranteed you can get a full like HD. Some movies you can.
So anyway, Seven is saying he might see it before he dies. Well, it's definitely worth seeing. It concludes that crazy cliffhanger, right? So you got to see it if you have any interest in watching the second half of the cliffhanger. But the whole thing is what to talk about is if you are satisfied with how it, undid it or whatever, resolved everything. Anyway, so I won't mess with that anymore. What about NRA Endgame? You guys said there was no aura of gloom, or like it wasn't like a
At
whole
least on the floor, yeah, no. 'Cause like I said, all these posts happen like 5:30, 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like
is it
our
like
time.
is it like watching The Wall, the Pink Floyd movie The Wall, and like everybody, all the NRA members have to come in and walk in single file and like just keep their heads aimed at the products, and there's like a bunch of NRA thugs with billy clubs making sure nobody talks to each other?
Como se llama Pink Floyd?
Huh?
Como se llama Pink Floyd?
Rosita Floyd.
I don't know a single Pink Floyd song, so like you're right.
This is a movie which was pivotal, so it's like talking about Star Wars or something. A lot of people have seen The Wall who have no idea what Pink Floyd is. But anyway, I'm just wondering if it's totalitarian atmosphere where they're not allowing any conversation, and are they escorting people out? Was there any sort of bunch of people walking around with anti-NRA shirts that got addressed or anything?
Did see them.
Did or did not?
Did not. I did see like van roll by like with the screen or whatever, but by like it's driving by a street. So by the time you see it, read it, realize what it is, you don't have time to pull out your camera and get a good shot of it.
Oh, you're talking about that van that had a big poster that said something like "We want you to resign" or something, and it had your face on it.
It didn't say like we want you to resign. It was like, why are they supporting red flag laws? Apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. Who posted that? Ghost posted that this morning.
Yeah, so like I can see it, read it, but like they snap something of it. To then pull up my phone and snap it was impossible. Credit to somebody who did that. Unnamed person.
Anybody wearing Tony's shirts, the blue 2A4E shirts?
Oh, I did it, but I saw Tony twice. Talked to him, trying to set up something for him for the Kevin Dixie shoot.
Very cool. Did you guys meet anybody today that you didn't think you would meet, or meet anybody who is worth talking about?
I ran into Moss about 5 times.
Who?
Moss.
Moss. Did you hear him? Like Pink said, he ran him beside you like 5 times today.
Mm-hmm.
What was funny was I have personally never liked Suits. I always found him super corny, can't stand his facial expressions, et cetera, et cetera. But I actually talked to the guy, he was talking to other people that I was in mid conversation with, and just whatever. And like he seemed like a nice guy. I still don't like his facial expressions. I still don't like his fucking video products, but just talking to him or just hearing him talk, I want to say change my idea, but not that bad. Not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought talking to him in person would be a lot worse. Oh no, I gotta say this one for off air. Sorry. End it.
Guys, I am heading out of here. I got to get some sleep. G, thanks for the link, buddy.
Take it easy. Hey, did you guys see that about Chuck Norris? Did you hear about this, Ellis? Or do you care?
What's up?
So Chuck Norris is Glock's guy, right? And
yeah,
he's going to be there signing stuff like Harley Emery used to do, right? So he's got, and somebody posted a picture of his like setup or his booth or something. I think Glock had showed a picture of their like the signing booth or whatever. So I was like, hot damn, like what movie are you going to bring to have them sign that DVD, right? Because who the fuck wouldn't want, I don't care what your opinion is, like who wouldn't want to have Chuck Norris sign like, Lone Wolf McQuade in person, right? It's fucking cool. So the Snob today posted a link to me that, or showed a picture to me that Glock had this fucking sign up that said Chuck Norris will only sign some kind of like Glock signature card and no exceptions. Like they're giving you some kind of a card for him to sign, and then that's it. Like he won't sign tits or shirts or anything cool.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I think.
Anyway, good night, guys. God bless you.
Dumping it.
Yep.
Later, boys.
Now we can freely talk about Glock more. We won't get all upset.
You can talk about Glocks anytime you want.
Why don't you have him sign your Glock?
Yeah, it says Glock trait, like Glock signature cards or something. I don't know. So anyway, I think that's weak. I think that's super weak.
Because I you know, if he's not gonna sign my Uzi mag, I'm not interested. what you call like Glock's competitions shooter Scoozy?
Oh no, she does work. She's the only one that works for them anymore, right?
No, they have three. They have the dude and the other younger girl. But it was funny because I wasn't even looking at Scoozy, and she saw me from 25 yards away, I would say at least. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she stepped back and started laughing, and then started hiding her shoes because she knew I was gonna come up to her, and her shoes were dirty. Oh my god, I should have got her. Yo, why are your shoes so dirty? She's wearing they're Louis Vuittons, but they're fucking dirty. Come on, clean them. Put a white rag to them and clean them.
Anybody else have any opinions of anybody else's shoes at the show today?
No.
You can ask Argo J. You can ask Coleonor. Who else did I break necks for? I got more comments on my t-shirt.
Too bad Dano wasn't there.
Bro, oh, okay. So you want to hear something funny?
Dano giving me shit for having $7 Walmart shoes. You should get better shoes. Fuck you, tell me to get better shoes.
So what's funny? I've always liked Dano. As much as Dano is a hard ass and yeah, I don't give a fuck. I've always loved Dano. I've always had an appreciation for Dano. As much of a hard ass as he is, blah blah blah. So I sent him a text and I'm like, "Hey, bro, are you coming to NRA?" It was 2 days before I came up here. I was like, "Hey, bro, you coming to NRA?" I love this. You know what I'm saying? Because these are people that you talk to online for years, and I'm I would love to see you. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So he goes, "No, sorry, not gonna make it. Just went to an action medical class. Not gonna make it. I'm nobody. And I was like, and my response was I never said you were nobody. I don't give a fuck about you. It's no, I'm really mad that I'm not gonna see you. Wish I could see. But the funny thing was his bow out that he did saying that he was nobody. I totally smashed him on it and made him feel like shit, which I thought was pretty funny because that's something that Dano would do. So yeah, shout out to just Dano. I wish I could read the text word for word.
I don't think he's watching tonight. We do have 28 people watching, and they're chatting about stuff, but I don't know. Does anybody else have anything to chat about? I know a couple of you are at the show. Most of you are at the show, actually.
I'm fading, G, so I think I'm gonna head to bed.
Right on. So everybody have a good show tomorrow. Hopefully see a bunch of people at the 10 a.m. meeting. I guess that'll be 8 a.m. for me. Gary, are you going to go live for it? Or, I guess we could talk off air. So one of us will go live, though.
If one of you go live, then send me an invite, and I'll hop in from the meeting.
I'll try to send them to phones so that if people are just walking around.
If that person is live and they start inviting people in, it's going to kill their feed. You're almost better off just letting them just be live, honestly. Because they're going to suck bandwidth from them, And there's like
even working to go live from our homes and invite y'all in.
Yeah.
Because you can't go live from there and invite people anyway. Nobody's gonna drag a laptop into the meeting, I don't think.
Who's your
no, but you go live on your phone.
Yeah, but you can't invite people. You can go live on a broadcast. You can't go live on a hangout and invite 10 other people in.
Yeah, no. So you go live on like Instagram or whatever. But the problem is that by the time you go live, like on Instagram and somewhere like that, your so like everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go live with the floor at NRA. Like that's the most stupidest thing you could ever do because your resolution is so shit.
All right, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. So Ozzy says he's going to be there tomorrow. We're talking about the.
We're talking about going live, right?
We're talking about the NRA member meeting, not the floor. So.
And you're talking about going live at the NRA member meeting.
We're talking about going live in Tucson, fucking Arizona, or Kansas, fucking Kansas, and then inviting people from NRA into our room is what we're talking about.
On a live stream, right?
No.
All right. Whichever city goes live tomorrow, send me a link.
We will.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Everybody.
No.
No, you don't know.
Oh,
We'll wrap it up with that, though, and thank people who are watching, who are participating in the show, both in the chat and with the thumbs out there. And we will see y'all tomorrow for Knives if you're going live. And then, Rich, you doing this? Wait, when's your show?
Sunday nights at
night. And then we don't know if Budget did a show today. That was an off schedule show. Is he going to do a show tomorrow?
No, that was his scheduled show. His show's scheduled for 7 on Friday nights.
Oh shit! I'm thinking it's Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So Rick will probably be live tomorrow, and I'm assuming he'll invite some people.
On live tomorrow because he's going to be at NRA tomorrow, so he's not.
Oh, Rick's going to be there. Oh, okay, right on. So then we might need to cover Rick's show also. I'm also trying to think of how to do the 2A workshop if I'm going to still do that tomorrow.
Hey, G, may I say something?
I guess so.
Make sure you guys support your local Pro 2A groups in your state and other states. And make sure you guys hit up gearwebsites.com. They got patches, stickers, AK Bandits for your AK Bandit collector needs, shirts and hoodies now. Check them out. I'm done.
Thanks, Mr. Knives. So yeah, we'll go off air with that and see everybody tomorrow. That's at the NRA show.